Texas is a land of vast horizons, where history runs as deep as the oil beneath the soil. It's a place of pride, independence, and larger-than-life stories. But in the lonely stretches between its bustling cities, where the mesquite grows thick and the wind whispers through ghost towns, darker tales have taken root. These are legends born from tragedy, mystery, and the unforgiving landscape itself. These are the urban legends of Texas. Legend 1. The Marfa Lights out, in the immense otherworldly silence of the West Texas desert near the tiny town of Marfa, lies one of the state's most enduring mysteries, the Marfa Lights. These are no mere car headlights. For well over a century, witnesses have reported seeing strange spectral orbs of light dancing and floating inexplicably above the desert floor in the Mitchell Flat region. The lights appear without warning. They can be as small as a baseball or as large as a basketball, glowing with an eerie phosphorescent hue, often described as white, yellow, orange, or even a faint red. They don't behave like any known source of light. They split apart, merge together, dart horizontally at impossible speeds, float serenely, or vanish and reappear in an instant. They are utterly silent. Naturally, countless theories have been proposed to explain them. Skeptics point to swamp gas, atmospheric reflections, or simply mirages caused by the sharp temperature gradients between the cold desert floor and the warm air. But for every scientific explanation, there is a witness who swears the lights possess an almost intelligent curiosity. This has given rise to more supernatural theories. Some say the lights are the ghosts of Apache warriors, using torchlight to guide lost souls or forever searching the land they once called home. Others believe they are connected to UFO activity, a manifestation of otherworldly scouts drawn to the remote vastness of the Big Bend region. The most chilling local folklore suggests they are brujas, witches, gathering in the desert to perform rituals, their mystical energy made visible. Despite scientific expeditions and the installation of the official viewing area, the true nature of the Marfa Lights remains a secret the desert refuses to give up. They are a permanent enigma, a hauntingly beautiful phenomenon that reminds us that some mysteries are not meant to be solved. Legend 2. The Goatman of Lake Worth. In the summer of 1969, the quiet community around Lake Worth, just outside Fort Worth, was gripped by a wave of mass hysteria and pure terror. It began with a series of reported sightings of a monstrous, half-human, half-animal creature. The newspapers dubbed it the Lake Worth Monster, but locals knew it as the Goatman. The descriptions were consistent and horrifying. Witnesses described a creature roughly the size of a man, but covered in thick, matted fur and scales, with the horned head and cloven hooves of a goat. Its eyes glowed in the dark, and it emitted a blood-curdling scream that echoed across the lake. The legend reached its peak on a night in July when a group of friends claimed the creature leaped from the darkness onto their car as they were parked by the lake, leaving deep scratches on the roof before bounding back into the woods. The most popular theory about the Goatman's origin is a tragic tale of a local farmer who worked at the nearby experimental agricultural center. The story goes that this man was involved in a horrific accident involving a genetic experiment or a radioactive isotope that mutated him, fusing him with the goats he tended. Now a shunned and twisted abomination, he took refuge in the dense woods around the lake, his humanity lost, replaced by a bestial rage. While the initial panic subsided, sightings have never completely stopped. The Goatman endures as a classic bump-in-the-night legend for the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He is the reason teenagers dare each other to go to the old bridge on Goatman's Road. He is the embodiment of the fear of what might lurk in the dark, untamed corners of a modern metropolis. A warning not to venture too far into the woods after sundown. Legend 3. The Ghost of the Alamo. No Texas legend is more sacred than the story of the Alamo. In 1836, a small band of Texian defenders held the fortified mission for 13 days against a massive Mexican army fighting to the last man for the cause of Texas independence. But many believe that the spirits of those defenders never truly left the hallowed ground. The most famous ghost is not Davy Crockett or Jim Bowie, but a much simpler figure, a lone sentry. The legend says that in the days before the final siege, Colonel William B. Travis sent out a young rider to scout for reinforcements. The boy rode as fast as he could, but by the time he returned, it was too late. The Alamo had fallen, and all his comrades were dead. Overcome with grief and guilt for having survived, his spirit is condemned to an eternal vigil. To this day, visitors and staff at the Alamo report seeing the apparition of a young man in period clothing, often described as looking weary and sad, standing on the roof of the mission or near the front gates. He is seen most often in the quiet hours of early morning, just before dawn, the time the final assault began. Some have heard phantom footsteps echoing in the empty courtyards or the sound of a distant bugle call. But the hauntings aren't limited to the sentry. The sound of desperate, ghostly battle, clashing metal, musket fire, and anguished cries, has been reported on the anniversary of the fall, March 6th. The spirit of a tall man, believed to be Jim Bowie, has been seen in the room where he died, too ill to fight from his cot. The Alamo is more than a museum. It is a tomb. The intense emotion of that final stand, the courage, the desperation, the sacrifice, seems to have been absorbed into the very limestone walls. The ghosts of the Alamo are not malevolent. They are a permanent spectral honor guard, forever watching over the shrine where Texas legend was born in blood.